Good morning, gamers. Welcome to Xbox Beyond the Box. I'm your host, Dragon Dust. Hey gamers, I hope you're having a fantastic Monday morning, though I don't imagine anybody ever has a fantastic Monday morning. I mean, that's got to be the most dreaded day of the week. But nonetheless, I still hope that things are going well for you. Gamers, I want to say thank you. Thank you for all the love and support that you show the channel each and every day. The fantastic comments, the critiques, that help make the channel better. Also, the concerns. A lot of people have voiced their concern over my mental health, because they know if I go down for a couple days, it's because I have depression and a whole slew of other mental health issues, which we're going to address in today's video. But first, if you're new to this channel, hit that like button. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it. With that being said, I know some of you are going, Dragon, isn't it a little early for a Q&A? Well, yeah, as the making of this video, I only have 84 subscribers. But I have some really loyal people out there. People that check on me and stuff. Also on Twitter, I have people who are very boisterous, that keep track of me, as well as my wife. She talks to everybody on there. And there's been a few misconceptions between YouTube and Twitter there, that's kind of thrown people off as to who Dragon Dust is and who my wife is, because a lot of times she gets referred to as Dude. So I want to address everything, as far as how the channel is run, who I am, who my wife is, as well as, my mental state, and, why I do the YouTube channel, and as well as some of the questions that I've gotten. I want to try to always address the concerns of the people who come on and watch the videos, and who help the channel out as much as they can. Without you, I wouldn't really be doing it. I'd kind of move on to just playing video games all day and gaining a whole lot of weight. But with that being said, gamers, let's get started right away with the Q&A and our first question. So gamers, let me first start off by telling you a little bit about who I am. First of all, I am a nobody. I am one of like 4 billion people on a very overcrowded planet who has his own set of problems. I suffer from anxiety, depression, I have a lot of rage issues, and at times I am a general asshole, plain and simple. I'm not the type of person that you really want to be friends with, on a day-to-day basis. In fact, I pretty much avoid all forms of social media. YouTube is something I can't avoid because I have to work with it. My wife kind of filters things to me, to avoid some of the harsher things that I have to deal with. But I cannot deal with people in general. I'm not the type of person that you want to go, hey, I want to be friends with you on Xbox Live, because it never works out. I've hurt more friends than I care to count. And it's a growing trend with me. So, to avoid the problem of hurting people and hurting myself, I don't socialize. I don't have friends. The last 2 friends I had, which were Lost Souls and I think it was Crimson on Xbox Live, I haven't talked to them in weeks simply for the fact that I'm having a lot of issues. I cannot really adjust to socializing. So I avoid it. I stay away from it. As far as, the type of person I am, at times I can be a really good person. I try to be anyway. But for the most part, I am, in general, an asshole. My wife is always the better half. She's the one that does all these positive comments on Twitter. She's the one that does all the positive stuff on YouTube. She's an amazing woman. Now, as far as who she is very special, especially to me. She's what keeps me in check as far as my rage. Without her, I guarantee you, I'd probably be in prison, if not locked up in an insane asylum. For the last 10 years, going on 11 years now, she has been my rock and who I rely on to keep me in check. Now, I know some of you are going, well, Dragon, if you're suffering from all this, why aren't you taking medication? Because, to be perfectly honest, sometimes the meds make me worse than the disease does. I've tried countless meds, man, and when I say I've literally been on 50 to 100 different types of meds and nothing's really worked, some of it's made me way worse, I ain't kidding. At times I've been on meds that have made me so out of it that I've laid in my own piss and shit for 3 days, drooling, not even know where I was at. So when you look at meds and you look at the side effects, like I say, sometimes the cure is worse than the disease. And I know some are going to be asking, well, Dragon, therapy and stuff. Well, there are counselors I do talk to. I'm kind of in between counselors, but they really aren't there to do much of anything. My personal opinion, counselors are about as worthless as sandpaper for toilet paper. it's just going to leave you feeling raw at the end of the day. My wife, I can sit down and talk to her without her judging me or going, oh wow, I bet I can get him on this medicine or I can get him on that medicine, because that's really what they think about. At the end of the day, I mean, all mental health workers are pretty much on that side of the fence. Because, you can go into any mental health office and see the little plaques for various medicines, so they're getting their kickbacks on that deal, because they're basically advertising for the bastards. But with that being said, I don't want to stay on that, I don't want to harp on that, because I know my mental health worker will eventually watch this and have their complaints. And the sad part is, them complaining at me just doesn't really help the situation rather than talking to me. But with that being said, I hope this answers a little bit about who I am. And I'm sorry if I come off like an asshole, but I am one. I mean, I really am. I try not to associate with people. I do these videos because I love to do them. I love to hear the positive comments, but if somebody gets negative, boy, I can get downright vicious about it. My knuckles have attested that. I've punched more things than I care to count. And without my wife, who knows where I'd be at right now. She, like I say, she filters all the comments. She gives me all the positive stuff. And when somebody's being an asshole, my instinct is to be an asshole right back. That's just who I am. But with that being said, let's move on to something a little bit more positive on our next Q&A right here on Xbox Beyond the Box. Hey gamers, now we're on to who is the boss. And basically what we have here is, I want to do this because there's a lot of confusion about between me and my wife. Because my wife gets referred to dude, brother, bro. And I think it's because everybody hears my voice, and they assume that, I'm the one that's doing the Twitter account, the social deals on YouTube, answering all the comments and stuff. That is so not the case. I could not do it, because there are some people online that just absolutely drive me nuts. I'm talking literally walk up to them and break their face with a pair of brass knuckles nuts. I have real bad issues as far as mental issues, which we covered in the last segment. But to clarify here, my wife does all the Twitter. My wife does all the comments on YouTube. If you ask a question and it gets answered in the comments, it's her that does it. I don't have anything to do with it. She will occasionally ask me, especially if it's something positive or something detailing to me personally. I'll answer, and she will word it to where it sounds a lot better, because I can't really do that. I struggle with that part of my brain. Also, she tells me what content to produce. Now, occasionally, I will argue with her, especially when it comes to Xbox Game Pass Pick of the Week, because we're both kind of on two different fronts there. She's a Gears of War fan, I'm a Halo fan. And occasionally, we've had to clash over that, and I have lost a lot. Sometimes I do get in trouble when I step out of line with her and kind of do my own pick of the week without her being here, because she works a day job. And when I do that, I know I'm going to catch hell for it, but it's worth it sometimes, especially if the comments are, well, we thought this was great. Well, yeah, well, I appreciate it. But nonetheless, she does all that. She will sit down and chat with me. Every morning we take the time, or at night before she goes to work, depending on what her schedule is. We'll sit down and we'll decide on the topics for tomorrow, possibly the next couple of days. Now, if something does come up, if I find something interesting, via the YouTube channel, or when I do my Bing searches, because that's where I hang out at. I hang out on Bing. It's a place where I don't have to worry about socializing. I will watch videos, and if I see a video, I won't take the person's video. I will go online and follow their links, or I'll research it. Because I want my own spin on it too, but I don't want to, sit there and go, wow, I watched their video, I'm just going to say what they said. That's just not right. That's stupid. I don't want to ever plagiarize anybody, because there's so many great YouTubers out there, and I'm so far behind them. But, I'm trying to make my own way. But nonetheless, she does run the entire channel. And, if I have to go off the grid a little bit because I found a story, via Bing or, like say the YouTube, and I went and researched it, I will do that video, and then when she gets in, I will go, hey, this is what I had to do because I found this, or everybody's talking about this, because you do have, at times, gamers will be talking about multiple things, 5 or 6 videos pop up about the same subject. Well, I also want my voice my opinion on it too, not just for the views, just simply for the fact that I find other people who are like-minded, and it makes for great conversation when my wife tells me about it, or she'll basically talk to these people and say, well, we appreciate all the comments and stuff. But, at the end of the day, Mystical Gears is what she goes by. She runs everything. Like I say, there's a few times where I will get things by her, but for the most part, if she says no to something, just like we're going to be covering in the next segment, why I don't play certain games and stuff. But nonetheless, if she says no, I have to basically follow it. I love her that much, and I don't really want to sleep on the couch or face the consequences of an angry wife. And for those of you who are not married and you're planning on it, remember, if she ain't happy, you ain't happy. And that's a rule of thumb. Live by it, boys. Hey, don't take it as offensive when I say boys. I'm 41 years old. Most of my viewership is very young. So everybody's kind of a youngin' to me at this point in my life. But nonetheless, if she ain't happy, you ain't happy. A rule to live by. But let's get on to the next question here, because I'm running out of time on this segment. Next question, please. So gamers, now there is a list, because I've had people go, can you join me on this game and play a little bit? Well, for one, I don't socialize, so no there. But for two is, there are certain games that, my wife has pretty much put on a banned list. Why? Because of various mental health reasons, or actually some physical reasons. The number one game that's been banned here recently was Elder Scrolls Online. Why? Simply for the fact that I wasn't getting anything done around the house. She works. The only thing I have to do during the day is YouTube, and that's if I feel like it. And, I'm supposed to do the housework and stuff. She's got a list of things for me to do. Elder Scrolls Online was taking up way too much time. That game is addictive as all hell. And if you haven't played it yet, it's a fun game. But it's like, it's one of those games that's also a double-edged sword because it does cause depression. Why? Because of all the microtransactions. And that's another thing that's been kind of put on the ban list. What you're seeing as far as DC Universe, and I know it's loaded with microtransactions, and my wife is getting ready to have me put it on the ban list. Why? Because microtransactions make me depressed. They really do. Because I grew up back in the day when the only thing you had to worry about was buying one game. One game, it was all there. And then they moved up to DLC, and I thought, well, that's okay, $20 here, $20 there, to get great stuff that I wanted added on to the game that I was playing that I loved so well, such as, like, Mass Effect 2, and I'm like, I know some of you are going, Dragon, wait a minute, man, Mass Effect 2 wasn't that great. Well, to me it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed playing it. But nonetheless, games like Halo, which hurt my eyes, the green seems to cause me so much grief that my eyes will actually water, go bloodshot really hard. We haven't found anything that helps, so Halo's been taken off the list, even though occasionally I'll do a clip of it just to have for video work, and that's my excuse to play it. But, it's going to be leaving Game Pass in like 4 or 5 months, and I'm not going to be able to play it anymore. And I know some of you are going, hey, Dragon, why are you letting your wife tell you what to do and everything? Well, if she didn't trust me, there'd be a lot of people on stretchers, man. I mean, like I say, she helps me. So I'm fully endorse my wife being in charge. But with that being said, other things that are going on in gaming actually cause me a lot of grief. That's why I don't do the whole social media thing. Console wars cause depression. You say something about a console and people treat it like you talked about their mother. Oh my God! I mean, I'd punch somebody in the face over my mom, especially if they said it right to my face. But the idea of, I said something, true or untrue about a console and you defend it like it's your family, and I thought I was the one that had mental health issues. But nonetheless, like I say, games that go on the ban list are, basically for my safety and, possibly for public safety, because if I get mad enough, I won't hesitate to go off on somebody. Just the way I am. Not only do I have mental health issues, depression, so forth, I am also a redhead, natural, and everybody knows that we're, bitches when it comes to downright to it. And I mean that in a good way, kind of a bad way, I guess. I know some people, no matter what you say, somebody's going to take offense to it. You could go online and simply put butt wipe on Twitter, and I think somebody would be offended because they take it as that was them. But nonetheless, games that get banned are simply for my safety, and as well as the safety of others, because you can't afford to have me go off on somebody over a game. You really can't. And I don't want to ruin the gaming industry because I became the whack job that went off and beat up somebody with a spoon because what was it, Call of Duty just flat pissed me off because there's too many of those idiots already, and we all know about them. The people that get mad and stab somebody. But with that being said, let's get to our closing comments for this video. I know it's extremely long. Hey gamers, I really appreciate you staying for the video this far. For those of you that have, and listen to the ramblings of an old 40 going on 41-year-old man who's basically a nobody in life. But with that being said, these are basically the closing statements for this video. First of all, I want to reiterate how much I really appreciate everybody who shows up for the channel each and every day, all the thumbs up and all the critiques that help make the channel better. I know I said it earlier in the video, but it needs to be said again. Thank you so much. I also want to point out, that if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. My wife will get them to me, and I will do my best to answer the questions. Some of the things that I'm trying to push for on the channel, I don't know if my wife's going to let me yet or not, is WWE 2K17 is coming out on Game Pass, and I really want to use that to start a wrestling segment, talking about some of the things that I find wrong with wrestling, both in WWE, TNA. I really don't watch New Japan, but if this is something you'd want to see, push it in the comments below. Maybe my wife will let me do it, if I get enough comments or thumbs up in that direction. Also, if you have any questions for my wife, who like I said, runs all the social media, answers all your comments, leave them in the comments below. We'll both take time to answer them. And if you have any positive critiques about the channel, what I need to do, don't hesitate to let us know. The only thing I ask is, don't be an asshole. I've dealt with so many people. I had one person who actually complained that I was saying thank you, even though I had small amounts of subscribers. Apparently I was treating it like it was a big deal, and I'm like, man, if you don't like the fact that I thank people for showing up, I mean, why the hell are you here? It's for anybody who shows up. I really do appreciate what you do. The views and stuff, the positive comments are what makes me get up in the morning to do this channel. And I know trolls are going to be watching this video and, man, I bet I can set him off. No, you won't, because it all gets filtered through my wife. You can't say anything to piss her off about me. I mean, hell, my own family goes to war with me. We insult each other on a daily basis just to make sure that I don't go off. But with that being said, also, for this closing video, let us know if there's any reviews or anything that you want to see. Right now, we are working very hard to get into our own place, hopefully this month. And it's a very good possibility that the channel will be down for at least a couple of weeks, if not, maybe a month. But we will be back. It's hard moving into a new place. It always is. And for anybody who's ever moved, they understand what I'm talking about. Especially if you're on a really, really tight budget. But after that, we plan to save up to get new hardware, such as a new laptop, because we're not getting paid for the YouTube channel. The way they're changing the whole monetization thing, we'll most likely never get paid. We don't get the hundreds of views or thousands of views like other YouTubers, which is okay. I don't do it so much for the money. I do it for the people who show up to watch the channel, who talk to me, and I do the shout-outs for them. It's not about YouTube, it's about the people who show up. I just love doing this, and getting that positive feedback, because it really boosts me. It helps me get through the hard Mondays and the rough weekends when my wife's working, back-to-back graveyards and stuff like that. But with that being said, gamers, this has been Xbox Beyond the Box, our Q&A today segment. Basically, we wanted to address concerns and questions throughout this video, and I hope I have. And once again, if you do have any other questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. We will do our best to take care of it. Also, you can find us on Twitter there at Xbox Beyond the Box, or that, what is that little A thing, and Xbox Beyond is what's on there too. We're pretty easy to find. We're growing there. We're actually up over 570 followers there. Really, really proud of my wife for handling all that social media stuff, because I couldn't do it. I'd literally pull my hair out or be white as a ghost by now. with that being said, gamers, thank you so much for staying for the channel. I really do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed watching a little bit of the video of DC Universe, because most likely I won't be doing it too much longer. You know, as far as this particular game, I'll be moving on to other things. One other thing, that is another thing. I always try to give you all different gaming footage if I can. You know, games are kind of hard to come by. Even with Game Pass, there's not a lot of great games there yet, but they're working on it. But with that being said, I want to say thank you, and gamers, stay awesome, stay healthy, stay happy out there. This has been Dragon Dust. I'm out of here, man. Y'all have a great one.